end of another month, which means that I'm going to be sharing my monthly favorites with you. So the first favorites I'm going to be talking about are my clothing and accessories favorites, and because it is September and it is fall time, obviously my favorite this month has to be beanies. I mean, it's obvious. I'm wearing one right now. I love beanies. I feel like this is the only beanie I ever wear in videos, but I do own other beanies, I promise. This is just my favorite. This is my Common Culture one, which is Connor Franta's clothing brand, and I'll leave it linked in the description down below so that you guys can go check it out and get one for yourself if you would like, because I highly, highly, highly recommend Connor Franta's clothing brand. Like, everything on the website is like perfection. So yes, but beanies have definitely been a favorite for me because it is cooler and nicer and fall time, which is my favorite season. So yeah. So now on to my music favorites of the month, and I have so many music favorites this month because so many great songs came out this month and I'm so excited about them. So my first artist of the month is Carmen. They released a new album this month called Leo Rising, and I just highly recommend this album. As always, I have some of my favorite songs from it on my Spotify playlist, which is linked in the description box down below so that we can listen to all of my music faves in one place. But I really, really, really love Carmen's album. It's so good. Everything on it is so good, but I chose like my favorite top 3 songs from it. But I do highly recommend you go check out the full album because it is just fantastic. And I love Nick and Amy, and I'm so, so happy and proud of them and their music style and everything. And yeah, they're so fantastic. And for my next music favorite of the month, it has to be Group Love and their album Big Mess. My favorite song on it is Cannonball, and it is just such a great album overall. And if you really like the Paper Towns or Fault in Our Stars soundtrack, I highly, highly recommend checking out this album because they have been featured on those soundtracks before, and that's kind of how I discovered them. So I highly recommend checking out this album. And yes, my next artist of the month is Shawn Mendes. He released his new album Illuminate this month, and it is so good. Oh my gosh, I highly recommend the entire album. My favorite song I think is Patience, but every song on it is so, so, so good. I highly recommend checking it out. It's so great, it's amazing, and I love Shawn, so I highly recommend checking that out. And my next music favorite of the month is the Strumbellas. I just discovered them this month. I was watching a Stranger Things edit, and they had the song Spirits in the edit, so I looked up the lyrics, and I found the band, and I'm like, holy crap, they're so great. So I highly recommend checking them out. They are, of course, always on my playlist also. My favorite songs by them are Young and Wild and Spirits. It's just a really great band, and if you're into like indie music, I highly recommend checking them out. And another artist that I have been loving this month is Opposite the Other, which I discovered on Spotify. They have like a Discover Weekly playlist, so based on your favorites every week they have a new playlist. So I was listening to that, and the song Right Away by Opposite the Other started playing, and I was like, holy crap, who are these guys? So I clicked on their artist page, and they only have like a few singles, so I highly recommend checking them out. They have Right Away and Starter Love, which is really great, and then they have another song, I forget what it's called right now, but my 2 favorites are on my Spotify playlist. I highly recommend checking out Opposite the Other. They're kind of a British band, I'm guessing. I heard like in their singing it sounded a little British, like they had a British accent, so I really like them. They're really great, and I highly recommend them. And for my next music favorite of the month, it has to be the song Anything by Frank Pohl featuring Grayson Chance. It's such a great song, and I've talked about Grayson Chance in the past, and I highly recommend checking him out, and I just love this song. It's just so good. It's like kind of electronic and kind of like EDM-ish, but Grayson Chance is just fantastic, and I love this song, and I highly recommend checking it out. And my last music favorite of the month has to be Niall Horan's new song called This Town. It's so good. I'm so ready for a Niall album. I'm so excited that he said One Direction is planning on touring again. I freaking love this song. I highly recommend you check it out. I basically cried on the way to school listening to it. It's so freaking good! And as you can tell by my reaction to the song, I am a huge Niall stan, so I automatically, the moment it came out, added it to my favorites and added it to all of my playlists because it's a fantastic song, and I highly recommend checking it out. Also, I want to mention that not only do I have a monthly playlist this month, but I do have a fall favorite playlist, so it is like 53 of my favorite fall songs that remind me of the season. So if you would like to check that out, it'll be linked in the description box down below as well, so that way you guys can go check out everything that I love for this time of year. And for my app of the month, this month I wanted to mention the iOS 10 stickers, like on text messaging. I've been using them non-stop, and also the gift keyboard. Super cool. Me and my sister have been sending back and forth gifts to each other. It's just really, really fun, and I highly recommend if you have iOS 10 using the stickers. You probably already do, but yeah. So for my video of the month, it has to be Niall's One Mic, One Take that he did for his song This Town. I highly recommend checking it out. I'll leave a link to it in the description box down below if you would like to watch it, and yeah, I highly recommend watching it and supporting Niall because he's so great. So this month I've actually done quite a bit of reading, and I've been in such a reading slump for a few months that I could not like get through a book. So I decided this month to pick up some of my childhood favorite books because my sister said that when she reads books that she used to like when she was a kid, it helps get her back into reading, and it had been a while since I'd read a book. So I picked up the Magic Tree House little box set of the first 3 books. These were some of my favorite books growing up, so it was very exciting to get this and to see that they still made them, and she's still writing new ones. They're like up to like the 50th or whatever, so I highly recommend checking these out if you're in a reading slump because they're so short. I read the first 4 in like 4 days because I read one a night, and I really love these, and it just helped me so much out of my reading slump, and I love them. So because I am out of the reading slump, I decided to read a book that I've been wanting to read for a really long time, and that is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. And I'm not going to say anything about the storyline or anything, but I just highly recommend checking it out and going into it completely blind and not knowing anything about the storyline because it just makes it even better to read. It's just such a great book, and the illustrations in this book are just gorgeous, and I highly recommend checking it out. Obviously, it is a highly awarded book, so that's kind of another reason why I wanted to pick it up, because I was like, it's a very awarded book. Like, I feel like it's going to be a fantastic book, and it totally is. Check it out. It's an emotional book too, so be prepared to cry because I cried. So on to my random favorites of the month, and the first one has to be my phone case. Me and my sister have matching phone cases. She has the Phil phone case and I have the Dan one. These are from Redbubble. I'll leave a link to it in the description box down below, and it's so cute and I really love it, so I highly recommend checking out Redbubble. They have some really great cases, especially if you got the new iPhone. They have all the iPhone 7 cases that you would want, so I highly recommend that. And this is also really sturdy. Like, I feel like I could drop my phone in and not break in this, which is really great because I am a klutz and constantly dropping things. And my next favorite of the month is the Starbucks salted caramel drinks. They're back. I'm so excited. They're my favorite seasonal drink, so I highly recommend trying them out. And I really love the Frappuccino and the hot chocolate, and usually they have them up until like the next year, like into February, so I get it all time during Christmas, and it's so great. And my sister loves the pumpkin spice lattes, so when I get my salted caramel, she gets her pumpkin spice latte, and it's just amazing. So those are all my favorites for the month of September. If you like this video, be sure to give it a giant thumbs up. Leave me comments down below letting me know what your favorites for the month of September were, because I'd love to know. And also be sure to subscribe. I'll leave it linked on the screen, but if you are on mobile, you can click that subscribe button so that way you can be notified every single time I post a video, which is every single Friday. So with that, I'm gonna go, and I'll see you guys next week with a brand new video. Okay, bye!